Okay, so on this one now, they're going to say when doing a blood test for a viral infection, sounds like very modern, doesn't it? We're testing for COVID. The procedure can be made more efficient and less expensive by combining partial samples of different blood specimens. If the samples from 3 people are combined and the mixture tests negative, we know that all 3 individual samples are negative. Did that sentence make sense? If you take 3 samples and you put them all together, you combine them and they test negative, that means all 3 are negative, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? It's just a quicker way to speed things up, right? If they put all 3 blood samples together and they test them, excuse me, and it's negative, excuse me again, that means all 3 are negative. Now, if it comes out positive, that means one of the 3 or maybe a couple of them are positive, and then you're going to have to break it down from there. But if it comes out negative, that's just a quick way to find out that all 3 are negative. Find the probability of a positive result for 3 samples combined into one mixture, assuming that the probability of an individual sample testing positive for the virus is 0.06. All right, yeah, this is not an easy question. It's just hard to make it through all these words, but this is the nature of statistics, is learning to read very quantitative paragraphs and understand the logic of the words and what they mean. This is a college level math class at this point, so you can start to feel the requirement of the logic. All right, you can do this. Don't be discouraged. You can do this, but it will take lots of time. I'll show you exactly how to do it so that you have it in your notes. This is an at least one question. How do we know? How do I know this? A lot of the battle in a math class is recognition. You've got to read all these words and recognize that it's really an at least one question. How am I seeing that? Well, think what we're doing. We have 3 samples combined. Test the combo. What's the probability the test is positive? That's what they're asking, right? If you just kind of summarizing what they're saying. They're saying, find the probability of a positive result for 3 samples combined. See where I'm getting at? They took 3 samples combined and they test the combo. What's the probability? The test is positive. Well, what has to happen for the test to come out positive? Imagine, testing for COVID like we're doing these days. So what has to happen if you combine 3 together and you test the whole combo at once? What has to happen for the test to come out positive? At least one of the 3 has to be positive, doesn't it? That's what that means. That's where I'm getting the at least one. That's what it means for the 3 combined to come out positive. That means at least one or more, right? That means 1 or more of the 3 is positive, right? Isn't that what that means? Isn't that how that test is going to come out positive? If 1 or more of the 3 is positive, then that'll make the group of 3 come out positive. And that's what they're asking me for. So they're really asking me an at least one question. See how they're tricky and they didn't use the words at least one, but they're using the concept of at least one. That's what I mean by the fact that this is getting harder. But this is reasonable. This is college level. This expects some mature, logical, analytical thinking. So at least one. At least one. So how do we do at least one? Let's go back to the notes in case you're unclear. Back to the notes. Let me show you. Exam 2 notes. At least one. So what do you do for at least one? For 4 children, what's probably having at least one girl? You say the answer is going to be 1 minus not girl times not girl times not girl times not girl. So you do 1 minus the opposite, right? The opposite. Okay, let's go back to it. So it's going to be Let me write it up here. 1 minus not positive times not, I'm running out of room here, not positive times not positive. Are you tracking with me? Did you see that in the notes, that you go 1 minus not whatever they're saying? And I've only got 3 of them. Why 3? Well, because we only have 3 samples. Where is it? Right there. 3 samples. Okay, so it's going to be 1 minus. Now, what's the chance it's not positive? Each of these not positive. Well, positive is 0.06. The probability of positive is 0.06. So not positive is 1 minus 0.06 times 1 minus 0.06 times 1 minus 0.06. And then we got that other 1 in the front also. Are you tracking with all this? So that's 1 minus, and each of these is going to come out 0.94. If you use your calculator, take 1 minus 0.06, you'll get 0.94. So it's 1 minus 0.94 times itself 3 times. I'm using my calculator. I'm getting 0.1694 to 4 decimal places. And there we go. That's how we do an at least one question. And this is a tricky at least one question because they never say the words at least one. They just push forward the concept. 3 samples combined. What's the probability of a positive result? Well, that means at least one is positive, doesn't it? And so at least one is 1 minus not positive times not positive times not positive. And not positive is 1 minus positive. 1 minus 0.06, because they told me positive right here is 0.06. So it's 1 minus 0.94 times 0.94 times 0.94. There we go. Questions I can answer on that one?